my name is Clara, and today I want to talk about women in science, particularly about their struggles and obstacles that they face going into STEM. I'm primarily interested in this topic because I consider myself a scientist. I am currently pursuing a degree in genetic cell and developmental biology. So when the highly publicized controversy about Dr. Tim Hunt came about in June of this year, I was greatly offended. And through that, it made me realize that the stigmas against women in science still persist today. Some information about Dr. Tim Hunt is that he's a British biochemist who currently studies at the UK London Research Institute studying cancer. He won the 2001 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine alongside Dr. Paul Nurse and Dr. Leland H. Hartwell for the discovery of cyclins. If you don't know what cyclins are, it's a crucial protein that is involved in controlling cellular division. This was particularly interesting because it contributed to cancer research, since cancer is the result of uncontrollable cellular divisions. So some more information about the exact controversy with Dr. Tim Hunt was that it happened during the 2015 World Conference of Science Journalism in Seoul, South Korea. His extracted statement about females in science was that he said, "Let me tell you about my trouble with girls. Three things happen when they're in lab. You fall in love with them, they fall in love with you, and then when you criticize them, they cry. Perhaps we should make separate labs for boys and girls." This caused an uproar with female scientists across the world. Taking their disappointment out to Twitter, they used the hashtag #DistractinglySexy to post their pictures and reactions to Tim Hunt's commentary. Dr. Hunt's controversy was highly publicized because of his influential status as a Nobel Prize recipient. His perspectives, especially regarding the STEM field, are highly regarded. Therefore, his viewpoints demonstrate some of the stigmas that women face. His statement about how men and women fall in love over the lab bench lists women as the sole person responsible. It indicates that women are charged for how men react to them. This is dangerous since it attributes back to victim blaming. This is wrong. Men are charged of their behaviors, just as women are in charge of theirs. The second half of his statement of how women cry upon receiving criticism indicate that women are emotionally unstable and that they are not emotionally stable enough to handle criticism. Stop with the assumption that women cry at the drop of a hat. We know that we can improve and push ourselves to do better. This means that we want to receive constructive criticism. Just like anyone, regardless of gender, teaching provides a much wider impact and effectiveness over blaming or insults. However, divisions of gender in science is not new. Other male scientists in history have discredited females from their scientific contributions. One of the more infamous and publicized sexist statements made in the scientific field was done by Dr. James Watson. Dr. Watson, alongside Dr. Francis Crick and Dr. Maurice Wilkins, won the 1962 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for the discovery of DNA's helical structure. Even acknowledged by Dr. Watson, Rosalind Franklin's work in crystallography was the main contributor to his and Dr. Crick's discovery in the structure of DNA. However, Dr. Watson refused to publicly acknowledge her intelligence. Even within lab, he often called her a fool and possessed a patronizing attitude towards her. Unlike Dr. Watson's sexist statement, it later came to light that Dr. Hunt's commentary, in fact, actually supported women's contributions to science, and the controversy was created due to poor journalism. However, the entire situation does still shed light to the sustained lack of women in STEM and some of the stigmas that women face. There are other stigmas against women in science. For example, women are seen as naturally less intelligent in comparison to men. People claim that because a woman's brain is naturally smaller than a man's, she is seen as incapable of exercising the same intellectual capacity. However, research has proven over again and again against any correlation between brain size and intelligence. If that was the case, why aren't elephants or whales ruling the world? According to Judith Lorber and Patricia Martin in The Socially Constructed Body, they explain that gender assumptions are socially produced, but their pervasiveness makes it seem as if they are biologically linked. Thus, women's learned emotional sensitiveness will be considered as evidence that they are naturally maternal, and men's learned coolness and objectivity will be considered evident that they are naturally logical and scientific. This false belief is perpetrated by teachers and male peers who believe that females are incapable of comprehending the difficult scientific concepts. Female students are not encouraged to take on more difficult science courses such as AP Biology, physics, or chemistry in high school. With a lack of encouragement, female students are less likely to pursue a degree in science, let alone a career. Even when female scientists do make important contributions to science, their contributions are more likely to be taken as mere assistance to the real science that men perform. According to Nancy Hopkins, a molecular biologist at MIT, even when women win the Nobel Prize, someone is bound to say that they did not deserve it, that the discovery was really made by a man, or that the important result was made by a man. The woman herself really isn't that smart. Women in science also are not seen as attractive. Women feel as if they need to dress a certain way to feel respected by their fellow scientists. Yet, they must dress another way to feel feminine. This is further evident by media's portrayal of female scientists. In the popular show The Big Bang Theory, the dichotomous image is indicated through Penny and Amy. Penny, the beautiful blonde, is portrayed as someone who is incapable of possessing as much intelligence as the two main characters, Sheldon and Leonard, two white male scientists. On the other hand, Amy is portrayed as a successful neurobiologist and a major contributor of science in her field. However, she is seen as unattractive and socially awkward. Why is it that we can't have both? When there is a breach of this dichotomy, it is seen as strange. This popular science blog is ran by Elise Andrews, a science enthusiast. For years, her identity as the owner was unknown. However, when it was revealed, sexist comments came flying in. Andrews was disappointed and annoyed by the sexist commentary that she responded, "Every comment on that thread is about how shocking it is that I'm a woman. Is this really 2013? This issue further perpetrates that a woman's prominence in society is not determined by her ability to think critically or her ability to enhance scientific thought. Instead, her importance in being socially accepted is reliant on her appearance. These stigmas and challenges influence women to deter away from science. According to the National Science Foundation in 2010, the number of men receiving a science degree is doubled, if not more, than the number of women receiving the same degrees. The ratio of men to women receiving engineering degrees indicates an even greater disparity. Despite all of this, though, there have been successful female scientists who have demonstrated that women are not only intellectually capable of performing science, but they have greatly contributed to the overall field. Without them, our current understanding of the world around us would be greatly reduced. Besides the previous example of Rosalind Franklin, there were Marie Curie, a physicist and chemist who paved the way for research in radioactivity and won 2 Nobel Prizes, one in physics and one in chemistry. There was also Rachel Carson, a marine biologist and author of Silent Spring, a book that jump-started the global environmental movement. There was also Jane Goodall, a world-renowned primatologist, ethnologist, and anthropologist. She is known for her work with chimps and advocacy for conservation and animal welfare. And then there's also Ada Lovelace, a mathematician and writer known as the person who is regarded as the first computer programmer. And then there is also Sally Ride, a physicist and astronaut. Better yet, she was known as the first American woman in space in 1983. So after all of this, how can we get more women in science? We need to encourage young girls, female friends, etc. to explore and be curious about science. Do not tell them they are not smart enough or that the interest is not feminine. Also, if you're a girl interested in science, surround yourself with the same people who share your interests. They should also encourage you to delve deeper into your field and support you, even when science doesn't seem to be working your way. And believe me, as a scientist, data collection and analysis never seems to yield what you want or expect, but that's okay. Learn from it and improve it for next time. Look for female scientists as mentors. Ask them for advice and ways to succeed in your field. You do not have to recreate the wheel. Rely on their past experience and expertise and mistakes to guide you on your path. One organization that is known for that is called AWIS, Association for Women in Science. AWIS was founded in 1971 as the largest multidisciplinary organization for women in STEM. They are dedicated to driving excellence in STEM by achieving equity and full participation of women in all disciplines and across all employment sectors. As a female and aspiring scientist, I see that we are more than capable of contributing to the STEM field as much as our male counterparts. But as said by people much wiser than I am, strength is in numbers. To do this, more women are needed to enter STEM. I hope that through this discussion, some of the stigmas that women face are dispelled and that the challenges that they face are more understood. Remember, knowledge has no gender, so why should science be any different?